Hi guys, it's Debbie and today I'm here to unravel what on earth Mother Mary is all about. So if you haven't seen this film and you don't want spoilers, this is a great time to click away. Now this video isn't about the quality of the film itself, which has been extremely divisive. Some people say it's 2 hours of absolutely nothing. A guy walked out of my screening while swearing at the screen. Other people say it's absolutely brilliant, so I'll leave that opinion up to you. What you have to keep in mind is that the director of Mother Mary isn't new to paranormal themes, ghost stories, characters haunted by their past. I mean, he literally made a movie called A Ghost Story, which includes a very long scene of someone just sitting eating pie. But back to Mother Mary. In this film, Anne Hathaway portrays a hugely famous pop icon, known also for her extravagant stage appearance, also including a halo around her head, tying into her stage name, Mother Mary. After becoming unhappy with a costume and feeling like it doesn't represent her, she travels to the English countryside to reconnect with her old costume designer Sam and begs her to create something for her big comeback. Now, it's never fully explained what kind of relationship Sam and Mother Mary had before the events of the film. Clearly they were more than co-workers, but whether they were just friends or if there was something romantic is left ambiguous. And it's not even too important for the plot. The important part is that they were very close. The two reconnect through conversations about their past, with Sam making it clear that Mother Mary disappeared from her life and never properly apologized for the distance between them. As the events of the film unfold, it becomes clear that Sam played a crucial role in the creation of Mother Mary's image, of her rise to fame. But while Mother Mary became this global iconic pop star, Sam was quietly left behind, and that abandonment clearly destroyed something. Her grief over the split slowly turned into bitterness, to the point where she now almost hates everything Mother Mary does. Sam eventually agrees to make the costume, but she makes it very clear that she doesn't have a lot of time, which is funny because for two characters who are running tight on time, they do waste a lot of time talking in metaphors and doing everything except for actually making the costume. The costume itself is very important because it will be used for Mother Mary's big comeback concert after a break following an accident in which she fell off a platform during a performance. At first, both women brush off the incident. They say people online even suggested it might have been a suicide attempt, while Sam says it looked more like Mother Mary simply pushed herself and her career too hard until she collapsed. But as they keep talking, it becomes clear that the accident was tied to something much stranger and more supernatural. And honestly, this is where the weirdest and most confusing part of the movie comes. In a flashback, it is shown that Sam attended one of Mother Mary's concerts and became so overwhelmed by grief, anger, bitterness that she feels an intense pain in one of her teeth. She says it was because she was clenching her jaw so tight that something broke, but it's also clearly symbolic, like years of bottled up emotions physically rotting inside her. After having her tooth removed, which also symbolically represents cutting something out of your life, letting go of something, freeing yourself, she starts to have visions of a ghostly presence in the form of red fabric, almost as if finally removing that tooth released her pain out into the world in the form of something supernatural. And from this point onwards, the movie heavily implies that this ghost represents all the unresolved emotions between the two women. Sam sees the presence in her room, she lets it go, and this ghost somehow travels all the way to Mother Mary. Still in the flashback, Mother Mary is approached by a fan who suggests holding a seance where it is revealed that this ghost, this presence, is haunting Mother Mary. And as a matter of fact, Mother Mary starts being tormented by this presence, which clearly represents guilt, pressure, regret, emotional collapse, all the things she spent years repressing. And all this peaks during a concert in which she's approached by this ghost. It terrifies her to the point that she falls off the platform. Now, whether this ghost forced her to fall or whether it was her own deliberate choice is left unclear. Technically, the film presents the situation as the ghost nearly pushing off the platform, but Mother Mary ultimately is the one who walks backwards and walks off of it. So there's a possibility that a part of her wanted to fall, wanted to escape. It was a suicide attempt. And throughout the movie, Mother Mary is already shown struggling deeply with fame and expectations before the ghost, constantly repeating "this is my job," in a way that honestly reminded me of that I love my job scene from Devil Wears Prada.
I love my job, I love my job, I love my job.
So the ghost is basically the physical manifestation of years of suppressed pain between the women, all becoming something toxic and haunting. And the film also suggests that the two women have a sort of supernatural emotional connection, Early on in the story, Sam says she could already feel Mother Mary arriving before even seeing her. And when Sam first witnesses the ghost, she somehow manages to make it reach Mother Mary. I'm personally skeptical about these things in real life, but there are people who claim that they can sense when there's something wrong with their loved ones, even when they're on the other side of the world. I guess in modern practical terms, the ghost could even just be two people fighting over a video call, but that wouldn't be as aesthetically pleasing now, would it? Anyway, eventually, once they've confronted all of this emotional baggage, the women decide they need to fully release it through a spiritual ritual, basically a kind of exorcism. At first, they prick their fingers to release the spirit, but then they realize something more drastic is needed, and Mother Mary cuts her chest open, which isn't meant literally, obviously, it's meant more as completely opening yourself up and taking that big step into releasing everything you've suppressed. And it also ties into the religious imagery of the Virgin Mary with her heart stabbed by swords. Interestingly, very early on in the film, Sam does bring up that they might later need the scissors for stabbing, and she is the one who suggests this sort of seance exorcism, as if she already knew where this situation was heading and she pushed it in that direction. After this dramatic ritual, the two finally manage to free themselves from their emotional weight, and Sam takes the red fabric and creates the ultimate dress. It's basically the ultimate take your broken heart and turn it into art. And here, two things really stood out to me. First, the director mentioned being inspired by Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I absolutely loved, and I think you can mostly see it in the costume design. There are similarities with Dracula's red costumes in the film. Second, I couldn't stop thinking about In Fabric, a surreal horror film about a mysterious haunted red dress, also distributed by A24. By the end, Mother Mary and Sam have somewhat reconciled. Mother Mary returns to her career, which interestingly is nearly prophetically narrated by Sam's assistant Hilda, adding even more to the mystical energy of the film. The whole movie constantly plays with symbols and magical imagery. For example, Mother Mary is asked to apologize 3 times, which in literature and folklore often represents a magic spell. And after years of Mother Mary being associated with her iconic halo on stage, we finally see light framing Sam's head in the same way, almost acknowledging that she too was part of the creation of this icon. Honestly, the saddest thing is that after all this healing and reconciling, Mother Mary's assistants rushing and drag her back to work, the industry doesn't stop and money mustn't stop. I think overall the biggest mystery in the film is trying to define exactly what the ghost represents, but maybe that's impossible because breakups are messy and they are due to a mix of elements. The ghost could be all sorts of things at once. The characters themselves probably call it a ghost because they don't really have a better language to express what they're feeling. Now, would this have been better as a stage play? Could the runtime have been cut down in half? Does it feel more like a long music video or perfume advertisement? Did Anne Hathaway's popularity with the new Devil Wears Prada movie help push attention towards this film? Those are all probably discussions for a different video. But now I want to know what you think. Have you seen Mother Mary? What do you think about it? Do you agree with my thoughts on it? And if you haven't seen it, well, I guess now I've spoiled it all for you, but let me know if you think it's still something you'd like to watch. Of course, everything with a comment down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.